This is Hey Heart 143 with Natalie Tavidian. 143 means I love you. Together we're learning to love ourselves and stay in love no matter what life throws at us. We are constantly evolving, changing, growing emotionally, spiritually, and physically. And we have to remember to check in with our own heart as we're propelled forward. When you love your own heart, you heal better, you do better, and you live a more fulfilled life. Hey Wahe Guru, welcome to Hey Heart 143. I'm going to read a little bit about you for our listeners and give everyone a background of Wahe Guru. She is a Kundalini yoga teacher and instructor. She is a healer and the creator of the healer training that you guys have heard me talk about here on Hey Heart 143. It's such a big part of this podcast. Most of the healing work that Wahe Guru has done in her life has been intuitively guided by her psychic gifts of clairaudience, clairvoyance, and clairsentience. She is the owner of the Awareness Center here in Pasadena. She's been the owner since 2004. Wahe Guru has become a good friend, an instructor, and a mentor to me and to so many people who walk through the doors of the Awareness Center Yoga here in Pasadena. Hey Heart 143 actually came to me in one of the guided meditations that she led me on. So we wanted to get together. We wanted to have a conversation on this show about a bunch of things. And I was thinking today the importance of feeling.
Yes.
And feeling our own heart. And that's what came to me when I was meditating is that, hello heart, like, how do you feel? And I think a lot of people don't think about their own feelings when they're going about that day.
Yes, yes. One of the teachings of Yogi Bhajan, the master of Kundalini yoga and meditation, is that our feelings are the senses of our soul. Mm-hmm. And this is a piece of information that one of our teachers, Guru Meher Singh, he captured from Yogi Bhajan, and most people kind of missed it in the wealth of teachings that have come through. But that every time we have a feeling, it's our soul guiding us in a particular direction. So negative feelings are not bad or wrong. They're giving us information. They're telling us, oh wow, I'm feeling angry right now. Maybe there's a boundary that has been crossed, or maybe there's some self-care that I need to do. Our feelings it's like a language that can communicate to us when we know that language and when we practice listening to it.
I was reading somewhere actually just a few days ago about anxiety and how that's kind of a sign of maybe you're just not on the right path right now, or maybe you are at a job or in a relationship or something that is causing that feeling. Mm-hmm. And so many people that I personally know mask that with medication nowadays.
Definitely, yes. Oh, many types of medication, whether it be pharmaceutical or drugs or alcohol or what, feelings can be so incredibly intense and overwhelming if you don't know how to filter them and to process them. That, I can really understand that people would need to numb out or check out. It's just too intense. That vibration of anxiety in particular, that was what brought me to Kundalini yoga and meditation and the healing breath work that I do now, is because I came in with major anxiety. I had panic attacks and extreme anxiety, pretty much low level all the time, and then it would spike, if different things happened. But the anxiety, maybe it is that you're not on the right path, but it's also a sign that the anxiety is in your heart chakra. So it's like that fluttering. Yeah, you feel it in your heart, you feel it in your throat center. And that's the source of your power. Mm-hmm. Your heart's guidance can take you on a really true path and a true journey that your head and your mind would miss. So the heart's information is the information of the soul, and what you're supposed to be doing here on earth, what your dharma is, what your real purpose is. So the anxiety can tell you, oh, you're off chart, or you're off course a little bit. But it can also tell you if you are taking on other people's feelings. And that's what I used to get, is that I have so many psychic gifts that have been a blessing, but years ago they were a curse. It was really, really challenging, because I could pick up on other people's feelings. In a room, I could pick up on everybody's feelings and then think that it was me, and feel, this heightened vibration that then I interpreted as stress and anxiety, and then it became that, and then it actually affects the chemicals in your body. It affects your breathing. It affects everything. Your nervous system starts to change. And the levels of anxiety and stress that we have in the world around us, just when you walk out your door, you're getting bombarded.
It's almost not human, the amount of stress that we have now.
It is not. And different teachers that I've studied with over the years, especially Yogi Bhajan, he talked about this time after the Aquarian Age, which was 2012 was when we transferred into the Aquarian Age from the Piscean Age, that the levels of stress and the levels of cortisol in people's bodies and just the reaction to stress would get so heightened with the information age, with all of the technology that we have, that it would get so incredibly heightened that people would either go insane or they would go into what he called a cold depression. And we're seeing that.
Is that kind of like being numb? A cold depression?
Cold depression is like the serious depressive states that people get into. I mean, cold depression, he was talking about like the whole society would be in a form of depression, which creates an inability to be able to connect with other people. And so in what we offer here at the Awareness Center, and what I'm bringing to the world is ways to help navigate. We're not going to be able to change the world overnight, but the change does start within ourselves. And so how do we let go of reacting and begin responding to the environments, to the other people? And so Kundalini Yoga and meditation teaches all about how you deal with stress. How do you navigate through very toxic lower level emotions? How do you learn to communicate consciously, have authentic relationships? How do you live with vitality, regardless of how much money you have or how much you work out or whatever? It doesn't matter what superficial things you have. If you have a spiritual practice that you can rely on, and that you can get the source of your energy from.
Can you explain Kundalini, like the difference with Kundalini Yoga and maybe some other types of yoga? What exactly is?
Sure. Kundalini Yoga and meditation is an ancient practice that comes from India and was originally cultivated by the Sikh religion. And Yogi Bhajan was one of the first teachers to bring it here to the United States in 1969. And back way in the beginning, it was a secret type of yoga. It was only for those aesthetic yogis who are going to go into, dedicate their life and to the practices, go into a cave, renounce society, and just practice the yogic technology. Now, when Yogi Bhajan learned it from his teachers, his guidance was to come to America and to bring it to everyone. So it would be no longer hidden and secret, but that these powerful techniques would be available to everyone. And So Kundalini yoga and meditation is asana postures that awaken the natural energy in the spine and help you to start to circulate that powerful energy, the prana, which is your life force energy, through the spine, which then goes through the nervous system, affects the circulatory system, respiratory system, digestive system, everything in your body. And then with Kundalini Yoga, we have all of these components that balance it out. So we have the pranayama, which is the breathing techniques that helps balance the mind and balance the emotions. We have the asana, which we put ourselves into postures and angles that stimulate the glands and organs. So you stimulate the glands to secrete in the proper way, you balance your hormones. You balance your hormones, you regulate your emotional system. The physical body system, we're working on strengthening the major muscle groups of the body, stretching, strengthening. There's a lot of if you work the front part of your body, you also work the back part. If you work the lower part, you work the upper part. So we're always seeking that holistic balance in Kundalini Yoga. And then in addition, we have mantra. So mantra is words or phrases that help replace negative conditional thinking. And these positive words or phrases help shift you into a new paradigm of thinking, really. It changes the neural pathways. And there's a whole science to that, which is absolutely amazing. Each of these little components in Kundalini Yoga is a whole many tomes of books on the information, and so all that I'm talking about, and then we have the meditation. So every Kundalini class has a meditation, and then that takes you into your now moment, into your Satnam, your truth, your power. And the benefits of Kundalini Yoga and meditation are for us to live a happy, healthy, holy life where creativity is accessible, where love is present, where we can be authentic, stand in our power, speak our truth, where we can really live the optimum life. I had a student once, and I love this so much, who said that Kundalini Yoga, our teacher training that we do, is like the missing manual for what it is to be a human being. It ultimately teaches you how to be human and how to be you. We think that oh yeah, sure, I know how to be me, I just am me. But no, we have all of these filters, all of this conditioning,
and then
pain,
things happen
trauma. You forget, yes. So Kundalini Yoga and meditation helps you remember who you are.
I love how you call it a technology.
It is, yeah. It is a technology. There is major science behind it.
I want to talk about the healing breath, because you've been practicing healing breath since, I believe, 2010 is around, for a long time.
Yes, for a long time. And
2000, sorry.
Yes.
Healing breath work since 2000. Yeah.
And
there's artwork falling apart around us, if you heard that.
Our kids summer camp project.
I'll post a photo, post it in the show notes so you know what just happened.
So I actually grew up with the healing breath. My mom was a breathwork practitioner. I don't know if I told you that before, but
yeah, and your parents were both very intuitive.
Yes, yeah, we did guide work, and we did channeling work growing up, and we were part of this practice of truth technology. So yes, I've been around the breath work since I was a little girl, maybe 7 or 9 years old. And then I started actively practicing it in about 2000.
Okay.
Yeah. And so the healing breath, so my life is about these two main pathways, Kundalini Yoga and meditation, and then the healing breath and the shamanic work, coming from the Celtic shamanic tradition. And so the healing breath in and of itself is a pranic technique that is a standalone technique. You can do it whatever you believe, whatever traditions you come from. It's a very neutral technique, and it's a 3-part breath done through the open mouth for emotional release of physical pain, old traumas, and it brings up stuff from your subconscious mind that then once it brings it up, then you can see it in the light of your conscious understanding, and you can begin to either face it, get help with it, deal with it.
And release it.
Yeah, and I mean, it just never stops amazing me how profound the healing breath practice is. I mean, I have had clients, they don't believe anything. They don't believe it's possible. And I say, I don't need you to believe in this. Just try it.
Yeah.
Just try.
It's just a 3-part breath.
3-part breath. You expand the low belly, you expand the high chest, and you exhale. Mm-hmm. Inhale, inhale, exhale. And that's all it is. Now, where it takes you, it takes everyone to exactly the place that they need to be. So I call it, what I've heard from my guides is that it's an intelligent pranic energy. It's intelligent life force energy. I don't know where it needs to go, but it knows within you where it needs to go. Like it knows, she has pelvic pain, or her heart center is really wounded and activated right now. So it needs to go to that area. And when I say where it goes, it's also our awareness. We have an inner awareness of what is happening to us. Whether we acknowledge it or not is the question. But that pranic energy doesn't have any judgment. It just knows,
it's okay.
This needs a little bit of attention.
We're getting passionate with it.
Yeah. This needs a little bit of attention.
Yeah.
This needs some juice. And so the healing breath can work for anyone. And people who have an openness to spiritual experiences often will have visions or amazing things come to you, like almost like you're seeing a movie in your mind. It opens up your creativity. It expands your ability to problem solve. Like you can't even imagine, if you haven't done it, you can't imagine how just breathing would accomplish all of those things.
I think that's what I've told you the couple of times that we've done it is, and I started Hey Heart 143 because I didn't pay attention to my feelings, because I was always this like go, focus on work kind of person, life is fine, life is dandy. And then I did the healing breath with you. I came to one just healing breath class, and there were people in there releasing so much. I was shocked. And then when we did it in healer training, I started crying, and I don't cry in public. It's just not something I was comfortable with. And the first thing I would say is, I'm sorry. And now I'm learning to be like, oh no, it's coming out. I'm learning to receive. I'm learning to receive love. So it did so much for me. I mean, this past weekend, it brought up things from my childhood or early 20s that I thought I was over. But I know now, like, clearly there's still so much to be addressed in life, because we, like you said, we go on autopilot. We forget to listen to our feelings and our heart. So it is a very, very powerful tool, and I've referred a lot of people to try it out.
Thank you.
Who have been reaching out to me saying, Natalie, I'm inspired. You sing so great. Like, I have my days like everybody else.
Well, you're cultivating a strong practice for yourself.
Yeah.
You have a practice of self-care, you have a practice of healing, you have a spiritual practice, you're dedicating yourself to a path. And I mean, from what I've seen with thousands and thousands of people who I've worked with over the years, and with myself, is that is the secret to happiness, is the dedication to something beyond our thoughts, our feelings, our physical reality, the dedication to a spiritual focus. And
because a storm could be going on around
Yes.
you, and you're just calmly standing right there, acknowledging everything that's happening without going crazy, right?
Yes. You literally can be in great challenges or be in chaos, and you can learn through these techniques to breathe through it, to process the feelings in the moment rather than suppressing them, which is what we do as human beings, is that we have to survive, and so we suppress feelings that are too much for us until a time when we're ready. And I love your example of, you thought you had healed something, but then another round came up.
Yeah.
Is that, to me, that indicates that, no, you are at a stable place, so you're ready to go to this next layer with it. And you're ready for it to be revealed. Something that's been hidden from you is now coming to the surface to be revealed. And that's so beautiful. It's not painful anymore. It's actually freeing when you can get to that place.
Yeah.
Where you can look at it and you can observe it and say, wow, I've survived so much, and I have had so many instances that might have taken somebody else down, but I'm still here. I am strong, I'm standing, I'm actually stronger because of my challenges,
Yeah, our weaknesses, or what we think is a weakness, actually teach us a lot, and it brings us closer to one another.
Yes. And so feelings, as I said, are the senses of the soul. And so on one hand, they are very important to listen to through the intuition, though. And that's the difference, is when we have feelings and we pay attention to them through the mind or through the ego, that is where we can get into trouble. Because the ego may interpret feelings and make up a story about why that is so, but that story may not be true. That story may be kind of a culmination of your own pain and your own trauma. So we definitely have to be aware of our feelings, seeing them through that filter of the intuition. Because this is something that came to me one time, is that feelings are just like the weather. They're not, they're meant to pass through. Oh, the sun is shining one day, wonderful. Okay, there's a cloud. Oh, a thunderstorm's coming through. It's very dark and stormy. But does that mean that my father doesn't love me? No. How would you make a connection between a thunderstorm and that my father doesn't love me? That's how impersonal feelings really are. They're true to you in the moment, but it doesn't always mean what you think it means, what your mind or what your ego is making it mean. It may just be that, yes, I am having a very intense feeling. What is that feeling? Oh, if I were to really describe it, it's like a tension in my stomach. It's like a darkness there, a tension, or it's like a fluttering in my heart, and a really high vibration of fluttering. So I want to get, in the work that we're doing, I want to get beyond the stories that we make up about our feelings to really just honoring the true vibration of the feeling and saying, okay, this is something that I'm experiencing. It is real. It's part of my guidance system. However, I don't need to let it take me down. If I feel depression, I can feel that real, what is depression? Ooh, it's heaviness, it's fogginess. My brain goes foggy. I feel dark.
But people stay there.
But people, that's where I want to really bring our high awareness and our alert, is that we can feel those lower level things and honor them, but not stay there. So we can learn through the technology of Kundalini yoga and meditation, and through a healing breath practice and our shamanic practice, we can learn to navigate our way up the emotional scale. And we can go back down. If we go back down, but we can bring ourselves up. And how do we do that? We think something that feels just a little bit better. We try an idea out. We do a couple breaths. We say Satnam. Once you have access to the tools, it's like your toolkit, or, it's jewels in your jewelry case, that you can take out and say, oh, I don't know, I don't feel like it, I'm resistant, I'm really sad, or I'm depressed, but I'm going to try this out. Oh, you feel a little better. And over time, with the dedication to practice, you can actually totally trust that. And you're only off balance for as long as you're resisting. And you need to stay off balance. Maybe there's something you need to learn from that.
What are some of the biggest lessons you've seen people learn through the spiritual practice of Kundalini, or coming to healer training? One I could think of is like forgiveness of the self, or forgiveness of others, or really just letting go. What are some like big lessons that you've seen in your clients and people that walk through these doors?
Wow, that's a huge question. Well, I would say that one big lesson that many people face is a fear to stand in their own power, and a fear of truly taking on and living from a place of their dharma. And dharma means your soul's destiny. Why your soul incarnated, took this body, chose the family that you chose the place in the world where you live, everything, all the details about it. And each of us has a dharma. So we can either follow our dharma, or we can suffer our karma.
Okay.
Ooh,
I like that.
That's intense, right?
Follow our dharma.
We can either choose our dharma, our soul's purpose, or we can live out the pain of our karma. And the universe really doesn't have a preference on it. It's up to each soul. So it's not like if you choose to live out your karma, it's a bad thing. That's a valid choice. Karma can be very dramatic. Karma can be interesting. It can be, there's a lot there. But if you choose your dharma, and if you walk the path of your soul's purpose, it still may be hard. Still may, you still may have to work really hard, but you're going to be in alignment. You're not going to be fighting yourself or other people. So what I see is that it's scary to choose your dharma. It's very painful, and there's a lot of suffering when you choose your karma, but it's almost like you're a victim to that. When you choose your dharma, you have to really up level. You have to play a very big game.
Sort of like people are afraid of their own power.
Yes.
So they
stay
on autopilot.
They self-sabotage, or they think it's about the external circumstances, like, oh, I can't do what I love because my husband doesn't want to, or I can't move, or I don't have enough money, or whatever it is that are those external circumstances. And what I have seen through this work for myself and for the students that I serve is that first comes the commitment. Then you're guided and you're shown. But it's like you take a step and you don't know, you're stepping into the unknown.
Yeah.
But you do it with faith, and you do it with trust and surrender. And
trusting your own intuition.
Yeah, your own intuition, your heart. A major part of this is that it feels good.
Yeah.
We know we have that confirmation because we feel a sense of relief, or we feel a sense of love, connection, affinity with others. And that's always promised through this practice. Because once we clear out all the garbage and all, all this past stuff, mostly that happened before we were 12 years old. Clear that stuff out and we start to face it. Then we're here to live a life that we love. We're here to live that life and live it powerfully. You know?
I like that. So like the fear of finding that soul purpose is a big theme. A lot of people that I've had conversations with say like, oh, I'm not happy with what I'm doing, or I'm not happy with where I am. What am I supposed to do? What is my purpose? Where do you begin to search that? And I think one of the biggest themes that I've had with a lot of the guests, again, has been that authenticity, is, you know, making boundaries to get to that level of authenticity. What are some tips for that? Like, where do you begin to practice finding that?
Every day, it's a choice.
Yeah.
So where I begin is my sadhana, which is my daily spiritual practice. And what I've learned recently is that I have to put myself in a place where there's no excuses, like where it's just only possible to do what I say I want to do. So you could probably think of a million examples of that, but it's a very intense way to live. And so my sadhana is I do a morning prayer, which is about 25 minutes. I chant the japji, which is called the Song of the Soul. I either listen to it or I chant it. And I've been doing that since 2000, every day. And
every morning for 25 minutes.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. And then that's my non-negotiable.
Yeah.
And then I'll usually have either a 40-day meditation or a 90-day meditation. And then I just continue. So I'll complete one and then start the next one. So there's always...
No matter where you are in your life, no matter what the weather is.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And believe it or not, I still have resistance. So there are some things in the practice that I really want to do, but I haven't done them. Like, I don't think I've completed a 90-day meditation. No, I haven't. I haven't completed a 90-day meditation. And this is the first time I think I've admitted that publicly. But I've completed 89-day meditations or 75. And so the game is with the meditation is that you, if you miss a day, you start back at 1. So it's what that has done for me is it's humbling, and it's really worked on that perfectionist within me, which is a theme I've seen with many, many other people, is that either do it perfectly or don't do it at all, that 100% or nothing thing. My spiritual practice has helped me to love myself, to be imperfect, to be imperfectly perfect. And I call my spiritual practice that I am consistently inconsistent, because I'm not perfect. I fail, in quotes, every day. But now I love myself. Regardless of what I do, I love myself. And my spiritual practice, sometimes I'll do a Kundalini yoga set, or I'll do a meditation, or I've had many periods where I do breath work every single day. So it changes. Sometimes I will chant when I'm cooking breakfast or dinner. And what's happened is, since I became a mother, is that my practice has extended, so it goes through my whole day. I have things that I do. I have chants that I'll do at a certain time in the afternoon. I have like my happy hour mantra that I put on, that usually might be an upset time before dinner. I'll put on this really positive mantra, or I'll do breath work when I know, it's a certain challenging time of the day. And so I've added in all of these things so that it there's almost an unbroken chain in my spiritual practice. And I want to keep that space, get that space smaller and smaller, until eventually it's nonstop. Every step I take, I'm vibrating a mantra. That's really my intention. And whether I accomplish it in this life or not, I don't have an attachment to that, but it's my intention to keep striving for it.
That's beautiful. Where can people find the Awareness Center? Where can our viewers find you? Website?
Yes, we are at awarenesscenteryoga.com, and we are at Awareness Center Yoga on Instagram, and we are here pretty much open. Sometimes we start at 4 in the morning and we go until 10, 11 o'clock at night, so you can pretty much always find someone home. And people do call us a home, a spiritual home.
It does feel like home in here. It felt like that the first time I walked
Did
in.
you really?
Yeah, I really
awesome.
did. Well, thank you so much for doing this. Thanks for
you're
coming
welcome.
on.
Thank you for inviting me, and I really support your project, and I know that this is going to touch so many people. So any way I can be of help.
Thank you. I'm sure you sparked a lot of people's curiosity with Kundalini if they've never done it before. And if anyone's interested in the healer training like I'm going through, check out the website if you're interested. Teacher training is coming up.
Yeah, teacher training is coming up in February.
So if anyone's interested in that, look it up, awarenesscenteryoga.com. Thank you guys for spending some time with us today.
Thank you, Natalie.
Blessed be.
Blessed.